So this is the second part of the movies that I watched in August 2021. Again, I watched some really great movies in the second half of August, and yeah, let's talk about them. I watched another movie by Denis Villeneuve. It's called Sicario, and it plays in like in Mexico or parts in the US, and it's about these FBI agents trying to find this Mexican drug cartel. And yeah, there's really a lot that I liked in this movie, but what stood out to me the most was the amazing cinematography by the legend Roger Deakins. Yeah, this movie earned him another Academy Award nomination. I think he's been nominated like over 20 times throughout his career. In this movie, there are some really amazing shots, and one of my favorite scenes was this raid during the night, and yeah, just the way it was filmed was quite unique for a scene like that. Next, I watched the Best Picture winner, 12 Years a Slave. It's based on a true story about a free black man named Solomon Northup who is sold into slavery. And this movie is very real and it doesn't shy away from anything. Like when you see someone getting whipped or someone left hanging for a couple of minutes, just like standing on their tiptoes trying to survive, the camera just like stays on that subject for like 5 minutes straight. So it's like this one scene in there. So it's, yeah, the camera or the director doesn't give you a chance to look away from these gruesome images and scenes that play out. The next evening, I wanted to watch something more uplifting and decided to watch La Dolce Vita by the Italian genius Federico Fellini. I really liked the atmosphere of this movie. There wasn't much going on, but I just enjoyed going from scene to scene following the protagonist. And yeah, there are also, some emotional scenes, some more happy ones in there. Yeah, and I really liked it. I had heard a lot of great things about one of the more recent Coen brother movies, Inside Llewyn Davis, starring Oscar Isaac. Yeah, I liked the movie, but still, it just didn't quite click for me as I hoped it would. It's about this folk song musician who is like really depressed, and you just kind of see him being stuck in life, not being able to change his life for the better, and just being in that same routine. Yeah, I definitely want to watch this movie again sometime. Maybe then I will like it a bit more. But yeah, I still think it was a good movie and definitely one of the more serious movies by the Coen brothers. Daniel Day-Lewis received an Academy Award for his performance in There Will Be Blood. It's directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, and I'd heard a lot of great things about this movie, especially about Daniel Day-Lewis's performance. There are some iconic lines in there that I was excited to finally see. And yeah, what I also liked, it played in California at the beginning of the 20th century during like the oil boom that they had going on. And yeah, it was about, the oil business and all of that. But there are a lot of like themes in there, such as faith, family, and power, and the relationships between those. And yeah, I thought it was a really good movie. Next, I watched a movie by the Italian legendary director Sergio Leone. And no, it's not one of his amazing spaghetti westerns. I watched Once Upon a Time in America. I find this movie to be a must-watch movie. Yeah, I would have seen this movie a whole lot earlier if the runtime wasn't 3 hours and 50 minutes. What I like most about this movie is the non-chronological order that it follows. You had flashbacks, I think you had some flash forwards. And yeah, back then when it came out in 1984, you just didn't see that much in cinema. So he kind of revolutionized that. And also the legendary composer Ennio Morricone had such a beautiful soundtrack in this movie, and yeah, did another amazing job. Speaking of sound, I then watched The Sound of Metal. It's a Amazon Prime production, and that's why I hadn't really heard of the film until the Academy Award nominations came out, and people were just talking great stuff about Riz Ahmed's performance in this film. Yeah, he plays his drummer who starts losing his hearing, and yeah, you see how he has to get on with life, both from a emotional and a technical point of view. This movie was really great. I'm not a big fan of most high school films. I find most of them to be unoriginal and quite cheesy and all of that. But I think Booksmart was something new and fresh, and I really enjoyed it. It's basically about two girls who are best friends who spend the entire time of high school studying and working hard and never really let loose and partied. So, on the night before graduation, they decide to get a little bit crazy and go to a party. So, the last movie I watched in August was Memories of Murder by the South Korean director Bong Joon-ho. After the success of Parasite a year and a half ago, the previous films of Bong Joon-ho became available in movie theaters or also to buy on DVDs and Blu-rays. And yeah, Memories of Murder is, as many regard, his second best film after Parasite, obviously. Such a masterpiece. Yeah, but I thought there was a really great murder mystery. I would love to tell y'all what movie it reminded me of, but I think that would just give away a little bit too much. So those were the movies I watched last August. And now let's talk about my two recommendations. First off, I'd recommend to watch There Will Be Blood by Paul Thomas Anderson. As mentioned before, yeah, I think it's a really great movie with great performances. And what I enjoyed about it is that it's a time period, you know, the early 20th century that we just don't know much about. And yeah, you kind of got to see what California was like over 100 years ago. And the second recommendation goes to Once Upon a Time in America. As mentioned, I think this is a must-watch movie for any movie watcher. I know 4 hours is a long time. There's a lot of things you can do in 4 hours, but give this movie a watch. Believe me. Yeah, those are the movies I watched last month. Let me know which of them y'all have seen and how y'all like them, and I'll see y'all next month.